Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Kabelo Hlopo, and I know if you've been a friend of the channel or you're part of the family, you know I'm about to say today we're gonna do things a little bit differently because we are. I've been away first of all. Secondly, we have somebody very special joining us, and thirdly, we have a new location. So there's a lot going on, but these are some of the things we'll unpack as we go through not even through the episode today, through the maybe videos, upcoming videos. Okay, so because we can't pack it all into one episode, but I'm back. I plan to be consistent. Thank you for the 350 something of you who stayed even when I didn't. So yes, as per usual, we're starting off the year. Oh, happy new year, by the way. Happy new month. Happy new year. We are starting off the year with reflections and honest conversations and some hard-hitting truths and vulnerability, which is why I said different, because she's asking me the questions. I'm not just going to be talking to you. And yeah, I'm nervous because I don't know.
You should be.
I don't know what we are. I do know what we're talking about. I just don't know what I'll be responding to. Okay, so how do you introduce yourself when people ask you? Because I always say, if I'm put together, Manete puts me together. If I'm falling apart, Manete gathers me quickly. So yes, this is her. This is my put together. Yes, how would you like to be
Introduced?
Yes.
Hi guys, I am Manete Makgetla, and I'm the put togetherer, essentially. And my role in her life is to be listener and cheerleader and comforter. So, and because of my business acumen, she just sometimes just makes me give her legal advice for free.
I give her health and wellness advice.
True.
So yes, we that's why we're together. That's why it's a katana, because
True,
you know,
'cause
with
it's
the
not
people, you know,
Yeah.
yes, with people who are, we say, edifying.
No, I'm with the questions I have today. I'm gonna try and figure out if ihlile harakatan.
Kila ka utlwela odita batho out of your life. So if there's Manita's people who are on here, you're in her life because I asked her to keep you. Okay, so because I can already tell, she said cheerleader, you said you listen.
Listener.
So I suspect it's about to get deep.
Well, what I'm gonna do is listen,
Okay.
mostly.
Yeah, I
And because this is your show, you're gonna do most of the speaking.
am I going to cry? Because yes, anybody who knows me, I say this all the time, although I try to make it a point to not be one of those people who cry on the internet. I have a,
Because what? Mama raised you better.
you know, but I have a feeling these questions, because the other day, Olare, do I feel heard and seen how I want? I was driving and I was like, sorry, what? Do I feel heard? Do I feel listened to? As okay, so if those are the type
Those
of
are the
questions, yeah, not. I wanted to do this specifically because I want to keep it authentic and do something different. But this is the first time I'll be doing something like that on the channel, so there's nerves. But I trust you with my heart. So wait, before you ask me your questions, let's put you on the spot.
Okay.
What has loving me taught you about yourself?
Firstly, that I have more patience than I thought.
I suspected you're gonna try to deflect and be smart with it.
Yeah. Huh.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, you are putting me on the spot, and I
Yep.
feel like
Yeah.
loving you and having you as a friend has taught me.
You said loving me.
It's taught me the unforced
Rhythms of grace. I know.
It's Wow. I think when I met you, I knew we were gonna be friends.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew I wanted us to be friends, but
I could tell.
Yes.
You had puppy eyes. It was a desperate look.
No, no. I liked you enough to know I wanted to get to know you. You admired me. So I knew I had to,
I felt the
you know.
same. Oh. I felt the same way. I think we met at the orphanage. I get it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why, you know, this morning I was reflecting. I was like, how do I have this girl's number? Like, why did I text you that one time when we were solidifying
The friendship.
Like, how did I have your number? Oh, I remember we met when we were volunteering. Oh, okay. Like, I was like, why did I text this girl in the middle of a thing? Okay.
So I knew I wanted to be friends with you. I knew I'd always admired you since high school.
You have said this.
And yeah, because
You know?
So I knew all these qualities or perceptions I had of you before I actually knew you, before I actually spoke to you. And then when we got to the orphanage and I experienced you, you were authentic. You were
Loud.
It was refreshing.
A little bit crazy.
And I thought to myself, yeah, I could do more of this.
Okay.
But I think we were both in a very terrible head and heart space.
Spirit space.
Those were challenging times. So what loving you and being friends with you has taught me is weathering the storms together.
Because we've had to weather storms.
So all the storms we've weathered together from now,
Post now.
like academically,
Mentally.
and yeah, and with career development, personal development, life, family.
Yes.
Yeah, I've learned some friendships survive, and some relationships are actually like worthwhile, worth investing in.
Worth keeping.
I also know I'm a great judge of character, because even during the storms, I knew that there's such a good person deep down, below all the layers. And I think
What layer?
and I think you saw the same thing with me, and that's why
did.
we're here today, having survived all of these things. And I think you're the person I talked to the most last year.
Yeah, Lynn. This morning I was
That's why the
trying
guys
to take
call
inventory.
you my girlfriend.
Yeah. Lynn, I was like taking inventory of like, okay, so how did I survive? Like, how am I here? How am I this person? How am I laughing? How am I here? And your love saved me. Your love saves me because
Your love saves me.
oh, I love you. So I thought about this. That's why I texted you. I've been so emotional like these past few days leading up to this. But your love, when I speak about your love, it's not just you love me, I love you. It's that you have a piece of my heart. Like I wouldn't be who I am.
Bigger slice than Tabby Singh.
No.
Joking.
don't do that. But I've learned the value of friendship. Of you and my dad decided we were family when I thought we were friends. So I've learned what type of love I deserve, having you love me, because now I have a person who, in the middle of storms, like when times are trying career wise or life, you are there. Like sometimes when I'm going through my things, it's almost like you don't have your own things going on. So I know there's never an excuse, but it's not just in the hard times. There's like the highs. I know my dreams, like this, I knew I wanted to come back to YouTube. And before I even finished my sentence about the idea I had, you're like, yes. And I had a pitch. I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask her. I know she's introverted. I know, but I'm gonna ask her. And before I could complete my sentence, you'd already said yes, and that's just who you are to me and for me. And yeah, my dreams, my life, the quality of my other relationships as a result of knowing I can't do less than my best here. I show up in excellence in all other areas of my life because you hold me to such a high standard. Like when you say you knew me from high school, when we met, that is not the person I had become, but that knowing, remembering, like the quote someone I call them bumper sticker quotes. She remembered who she was and the game changed. You reminded me of who I am.
I'm the bumper sticker generator.
Yes, please. Like you reminded me of who I am at my core and my values, my principle, who God says I am, and you speak God's word over me, God's promises over my life. So it's an edifying friendship. I don't remember the question. I know we were speaking about love and yeah, but I love you. I know you love me too.
So,
I'm
my
ready.
question.
Yes.
Okay. A year ago, take a deep breath.
Let me woosah.
A year ago, what would you have said if I told you you'd be here now?
First of all, what? I would have laughed. I would have been mad because I would have thought, first of all, like, besides the deep things that we're about to get into, I would have thought you're trying to gaslight me into greatness, like into someone that's, oh, I know your potential,
Like-
you
like
can do
negative
it.
positivity.
Yes, like negative positivity. Like, why are you trying to push me too hard? Like, what are you trying to do? Why don't you have grace for me? Because we do that sometimes, like when people try to speak excellence or positivity or they try to push you, you take offense, you're like,
Because you're not feeling it in the
and
moment.
you're like, I'm trying, and I was trying, but that's all I was doing. I was trying. So I would have, I think we have the, I would have been offended. I think I would have felt like,
Probably, and come around in a week.
yeah, yeah, because I wouldn't understand, like, what do you even mean? Kaing, like, how? So the frustration of knowing I was not where I wanted to be and I couldn't see how I would move from there to here, it would have hurt my feelings. Ironically, that is why I am here, because Snail didn't care. Like my people cared and they stopped pushing me. But there's people like that who were like, no, we're not babying you. We're not nursing you into baby steps. You have potential. You're gonna succeed. Do the work. So there's people who called me out like that. And I think you do that for me. So it would have been one of those conversations we do have that wouldn't have been easy, and I don't think I would have taken it well because I was trying. Like I was doing the best to live, to survive. I didn't think about thriving. So anybody who would have spoken to me about my potential, about you can do better, about you need to put more effort, it would have hurt my feelings so much. Yeah, I wouldn't, but yeah, that's to say I wouldn't have believed it. Again, a bumper sticker quote. It's amazing what God can do within a year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't have known to accept that these are some of the things that are in store for me. Like I was in such a rough place. Like, oh.
That brings me to my next question. Upon reflection, how have the past 365 days been like for you?
Hell on earth. Hell on earth is an under. Like the last year was the hardest year of my life.
And you don't say this every year?
No, I thought about it. I thought about the years.
Like how many times have I gone, this is the hardest year of my life?
You know? But in like I took stock of everything. And last year, I think
completely terrible.
I think it was because it was the undoing, because God needed to bring me into a new space in my life. He was ripping everything up, everything I thought was security, everything I held dear, the people I thought I could depend on and the people I loved. He stripped me down bare. There's days when I knew that it was God. Like, it was not the devil trying me. It was not the devil testing me. Inesi, my village people, it was God. And he needed me to get to a place of complete surrender. I think that's how I got through it. That's how I survived. Because hopefully, like that song that came out, "Don't Give Up on Me Yet."
Yeah.
Like I used to sing that song and I would be laying on the floor weeping in my room. It was that hard, but I knew that like I have God. Outside of, I have you, I have my family, I have my wonderful
Do you have
friends
him?
who held me up. I have God. So it was the hardest year of my life. Last year at this point, I didn't know that I could have hope, because as the year went on and the things were terrible, but I was now starting to reestablish my relationship with God, to solidify it.
Yeah.
I It was hard, but thank God we're here. Also, I don't say this lightly, like I don't do the, character development, I needed that. But
Can I just say
yeah.
that the past year for me, watching your life, watching you live, um, that was the most beautiful year of your life for me
Really,
to see.
I do see that in hindsight,
Right?
but when I was going through it,
Because I saw God work you.
Yeah.
I saw him mold you. I saw the learning, the unlearning, the
character.
relearning.
Yeah.
It was amazing for me. At
The
a
entire
time when I
time-
needed, well, not
like when I was going, you were like, okay, wonderful. God's doing a good work in her.
no, but basically how you handled it.
Yeah.
How you opened your heart up to be teachable. How you'd always come to me and say, so this is a Bible scripture I was reading, and this is what it says, and this is how I feel about it. Or I spoke to my dad and this is what I learned from it. Or I know my mom's praying for me. Or like your reflections, your
Yeah.
introspection.
Yes.
You've been so self-aware over the past year.
I have.
And moving into 2024, I really, really enjoyed it. Like I saw you go through your identity and like just turn things upside down, and then and figure yourself out. And that's why I think during the course of the year, I said something like, I am so pleased with how far you've come, and I can't wait to see what's in store for you.
And you said you're proud of me.
And I said I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Do you think it's an age thing, or it really was a reckoning because God was doing a good work in me?
This is actually crazy because the year you've just gone through is the year I'm getting
Yes.
into now. and in every single book I've read, it's always been said that it's supposed to be the year you actually figure yourself out. It's the awakening. It's so, but I think it was just time.
Yeah.
I think God's time is the best time.
Yeah. Yes.
Is a
Yes.
cliche.
Bumper stickers.
But it was time for you. I don't think you could have handled it any better sooner.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
think it would have served the same purpose had it come later.
Really? No. Yeah, I needed it to happen then and there and
get it
how
over done
yes,
with.
I
Rip
wouldn't
the
have
Band-Aid
survived
off.
37. No. I needed to go through it.
Yeah.
Ke santsane ke le high, like everything happened.
Yeah.
God makes everything
Le
beautiful
nna
in
ke
its
le teng.
time. You know, hobane o ya kae ha ke le 37. What's no? Next question, please.
Okay. So you've explored your journey over the past year. How do you feel about where you are now?
Oh my God. I cry, I weep, enjoy. I said this, the measure in which I soared in tears is the measure in which I'm reaping in joy. I don't want to
Is that the standard for all of us? Are we supposed to no sow in tears so we can rip in joy?
Yeah, that's the thing though. You don't decide the magnitude. You don't decide how much pain you're going to have to endure. You don't decide how much God is going to decide to break you. You don't decide these things. I went through what I went through because I needed to go through that. I think maybe it's part of individual journeys. So for me, I am in my season of abundance. I am in my season of it can only be God. And I know I say this every year, like when I reflect and I think about the good things that have happened in the year, but this is different. This is, I wrote in my journal last year towards the end that I think I used to say this to you even when I was going in the thick of it. I said I think something beautiful is coming. I think next year is gonna blow our minds. I think something is on the horizon, something big. And I wake up every day and I'm in my something big. I'm in my season of harvest. I'm in my abundant answered prayer.
Prayer era.
Yes. So it is, it's beautiful. Like I have no doubt that this is God. I have no doubt that I'm in my element. I'm in my purpose. I am doing everything I'm supposed to do. Everything God promised me, everything I used to cry about in my secret place, relationally, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Because it used to get so dark, even when the things would happen, good things, answered prayers. I couldn't, it didn't feel how it was supposed to feel. But now I'm so aligned. It feels exactly how,
You believe it's meant to feel.
yes, it feels exactly how I sincerely believe God ordained it for me. Like I'm in God's will for my life. I'm walking in the fullness of His promises over my life. Every single aspect of my life. I'm not even joking. It's because even the hard things, because the challenges, I was like, this morning I was crying because work, but I'm like, "Ki, that's that quickly." I'm like, I prayed for this. I'm like,
This is
I
when you
have
answer
big
prayer.
girl,
Yeah.
yes, I have big girl challenges, but this is exactly where we should be because there's things we need to cultivate. There's things God is still working out, but I'm not sad. I'm not confused. I'm not lost. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. I'm not. It's. I'm not. And I'm not romanticizing it. It's not a cliche. It's not.
And it's not perfect.
It's not perfect. Yes,
It's
it's important to say it's not
perfectly
perfect.
imperfect.
Yes, it's everything my life is supposed
Ought
to
to
be.
feel like.
Yes, it's. I do hope this is how I feel. Obviously, bigger things are coming, better things are coming,
Like
but
for every
the
other aspect of
feeling,
your
yes,
life.
I hope God keeps me in this feeling, the gratitude, in the awareness, in the sincerity and authenticity of everything that is my reality right now, because it's blowing my mind and how quickly it happened, like just and on time God, because that I said last year I was singing Yet, that new song. Now I'm meditating on time God. You love the impossible. You're never late. You never give up. Nothing's too far gone, and that's a testament. That's a testimony of my life. Like when I say nothing's too far gone, I thought last year that's one of the things I was crying about is this, would it be possible for God to redeem the time I feel I've lost, and God said, say less, say no more. I'm about to do it just like that. And God has just worked as only He can. So yeah, this year is the year of restoration, and He says He will restore it to bigger than what it was before. And God has restored it to more beautiful things. Dintho tseo ke ne ke di lelela when I said God was stripping me off everything, God was taking everything away, God was breaking me. I have more beautiful things now, bigger things.
And you understand why you had to declutter.
I will insert a picture. I always say I will insert a picture.
Yeah.
But I have a picture I put on that little girl at teddy bear, and God's like, let go. And you're like, oh, but I love it, God. And I wrote down a WhatsApp status, Kire. Anytime you feel like you're in a tug of war with God over what you want,
Let
let go.
go.
Yeah.
Let go.
There's just, it's not easy. Like it's not unfortunate. I did come onto YouTube to say I'm going through things, I'm going through a lot, and I was posting on Instagram sometime, but I think people who don't know could never truly understand what I mean when I say I went through the ringer. So Leo and I'm like, oh, it's behind me. People don't know that the devil was contending for my life, and to be restored as God has, and for Him to answer prayers I prayed at 14. prayed at 21, prayed at 26, and he gives me all of it at the same time. I can't believe this is my life. And I'm so grateful for the people who never gave up on that little girl. People like you who knew who I was, but people who'd met me in my mess and saw something in me. Because there were people who, I'll say Neo, I'll refer to Neo all the time. Because I met him 2 years ago and 3 years ago. He doesn't know what you know about me. But in the 2 seconds that he met me, he didn't let me rest.
Yeah.
He wouldn't leave me alone. So there's that. Like, and I remember going into 2021, I'd prayed a prayer of, God, please grant me the people and the resources I need. And God took away things, but he gave me people. Like, I have relationships that are going to last me for a lifetime because of everything I've had to go through, everything I've overcome, life, you know. But yeah, God has been, he's a faithful God and he's a good father.
He is a good father.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Yes, please. And I'm not crying, so it's like really comfortable. I thought I was gonna weep. That's not an invitation to make me cry.
What would you say to your viewers who are in their waiting period, I'd say, who are who feel like they're in a storm or just waiting in the lobby for their prayers to be answered and trying to figure out who they are and what God is trying to do with their lives or where God is steering them? What would you say to them? What do you wish someone had told you back then?
Okay. I also thought about
Because
this.
and this applies to young people and our
Old
age mates and
people.
older people, because for every aspect of our lives we're not 100% fulfilled
Yes.
at the same time. So for every aspect of our life, you'll find at 27, this is what I want to do, but I feel like I'm not there yet. And at 35, I've achieved X, Y, and Z, but I'd like to do, 0 and 1. So what would you say for anyone,
Myself
who's
included,
in their
'cause I'm
waiting
waiting
period?
for-
Because you're waiting for certain things.
Yes. Okay, so that's a layered question.
So you're basically also saying it to me.
Okay. The pressure. Okay. You're doing it again. God is not a man that he should lie. If he said it, he will do it. I was in my waiting season for years. I got lost. I lost myself. Okay, let me not make it too emotional because once I go there, but bumper sticker code or Bible verse, tribulations. I would have lost hope if I didn't think I would see the goodness of God in the land of the living. For I know the plans for you, declares the Lord. God makes everything beautiful in its time. So the reason I say this, or the reason I say all of these, is because knowing what I know now, I know that none of what I had to go through was in vain. So even now, when I pray, I don't know if it's because I have this new life. I'm walking where I believe, so I do know that the revelation is different when you're on the other side with certain things. So I can talk to myself in a
Wisdom
very,
and hindsight.
hindsight wisdom. I can talk to myself from that place of God has done it before. But that is so true for many of us. Naomi says, if God gave you a word you're standing on, why do you doubt he can do it?
But what of a person that has no idea what God says about their lives?
Find out what God says about you.
Which would then bring us to how are you going to maintain your wellness and your wholeness and your newfound joy?
Okay. So I don't think I answered that last question well, the
True.
waiting room
Yeah.
thing. But okay, let me just say this before I get to this next question. Waiting, I don't believe. Okay, so it's not a fairy tale. Like it's not roses and butterflies, right? But the one thing that I do know that I did differently this past year that got me to this place that I am, I worked hard. I worked hard. Like, even when I didn't see the fruits of my labor, even when sometimes I didn't believe it would amount to anything. When I was planning this thing, the production, I didn't have the money, I didn't have the resources, I didn't have the people. I just knew in my head what I wanted it to look like.
Yeah.
Because once you're working and you do the work, you start meeting people, the conversations are different. So I worked hard. Like, I put myself in a position where opportunity, should it present itself, I'd be ready.
Finds you ready.
Exactly. Financially, I prepared. I didn't know what I was preparing for, but I prepared. I knew I had to stack up money, So and I don't have money, just so we're clear, just so we're on the same page. But I knew I was preparing for something. It could have been different from what I have now, but I was I wasn't just waiting, crying. I was waiting, crying, preparing. So there's that. I think sometimes, and these are like cliches, sometimes these things, dibuwake, like people who are in business and are rich, or people, I've heard it on Christian Girl podcasts when they speak about marriage. They'll say, oh, but are you a wife?
Yeah.
Are you doing wife things? And it's such a random example, but if you were to get the thing you're praying for today, would you be ready?
Yeah.
So I was in a position where I'd prepared, I'd worked, I was ready for the things I have now. So there's the preparation that goes into realizing your dreams, the preparation and the dedication and the grit and the amount of nonsensical hard work that goes into working when you can't see it, when it's not tangible yet, but you have this vision and you have this, because I knew I was in a very bad place, but I knew I couldn't stay there. For my own sake, for my life, for my mental health, I knew I had to be working towards something. So even when it wasn't about what does God say about me, it was what am I doing for myself? And I'm sure for some people it's not that clear cut, it's not easy, you don't have resources, you don't, but do something. I was teaching English online, if I worked 8 to 5 and then 6 to midnight, I was teaching English online. I was working hard.
Saving up money.
Like I was working like a crazy person. I didn't sleep. Weekends, I got off, got 2. I was teaching from 4 to midnight.
Yeah, we hardly saw you.
Yeah. So I was not just waiting, set about my reality. I was waiting, set about my reality, but preparing for where I knew I wanted to go to next.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think I did a better job at answering the second time.
Thank you.
Okay, so you said, how am I going to maintain my wellness?
And wholeness. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Because you're in the thick of it.
I'm
You're
happy.
deep within the job.
I think surrounding myself with the right people.
Yeah.
People who edify me, people I love, and people who love me. And it's my turn to give back into and pour into my people, because that's why I'm planning days.
So do I have permission to fall apart this year?
Yes, please. If you need to, don't do it. But
I'm not gonna do
it. Yes. But I started small last year, made a priority Luwana Nobi every day because she demanded it.
Well, not every day, but
we had a standing date, So that was me knowing I had to do better. So now I don't have an excuse. I'm not going to allow myself to slack when it comes to the people I love. And not because they held me up when I needed holding up, but because that's who I am.
And not because, and you're not doing it from a space of fear where you think if I don't, then the friendship is in jeopardy. Because you've nurtured such great friendships that they're secure and they understand.
And we don't need all that.
And
it's just the icing on the cake. But I'm gonna stack on the icing on the cake. I know we've got cake, but can we please have layers and layers of this icing and the cherry? So that's what I wanna do. I know it gives me so much joy to pour into my people. That's who I am. I'm a nurturer. I'm a giver. I couldn't express that fully because you can't pour from an empty cup.
You can't.
Yeah. So I needed to get here where to do what I could. And I am so privileged and blessed that my people don't need all that much. We are good, but this is the year I build the life of my dreams. And the life of my dreams also includes making sure my girls are taken care of.
Yeah.
Like we are happy and making memories, traveling if we need to, doing the things that girls do
That we've always wanted to do.
that we've always wanted to do. So I think joy, my family. Well, I don't know. These are not new things. I always say I
You've
wanna,
always-
because like I am in a position where I
Where
can
like
yeah,
we're putting it down on our calendars. This
because
is what we're gonna do,
yes,
and it's so amazing.
yeah.
So
So that's
refreshing.
also making sure I stay in my word, and because the devil has tricks and the devil plays games, but I'm not playing with the devil. Pastor M says, "You think the devil is a nuisance? The devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy." So
Yeah, so he's doing his
you
job.
know. So I'm not playing with that anymore. So I
Yeah.
need to stay prayed up. I need to stay focused. Like,
Hydrated.
please, the girl is going back to gym. Like I'm fetching my life. So yes, I'm gonna do everything I've always dreamt of doing. That includes taking care of myself. That includes pouring into the people I love. That includes expressing my love and finding joy in everyday things. Because this season, I also need to work hard to lay the foundation for so many things. But previously, it didn't used to bring me joy because I was where I didn't want to be. But now I'm finally in a place where I want to be. So even the work that I need to do,
It's
to-
awesome. Take it from me.
you tell me what time. I used to, I hope I'm every time like, I love my job. I was like,
Right? You didn't believe me.
what do you
I'm
mean
like,
you
I love
my
this place.
job? It used to annoy
I'm
me so
having
much. I
the
used
time
to
of
say
my life
that,
here.
like, I got 11 in the morning, like, oh, it's a beautiful day. I'm like, wow, girl, bye. So I'm that person now. Like, I can't wait. Like, I get up at like, 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
I want to be working because
Right?
God really did.
You want to take care of your baby. And now my baby's walking.
and I am in the infancy stages
Yeah.
of raising a child.
And we'll raise her together.
I know we will.
Okay.
So, wait, you'd said, I wanted to say, seek first the kingdom of God and all things shall be added unto you. That's how I'm also going to be keeping my joy because I know this is a God thing. Like everything I have, that's
you
why,
literally just sought him.
and
Yeah.
so I know that I can't maintain it outside of God. I know I didn't
Because
get
how
it.
you got it is,
That's why I was about to say God needed to take everything I depended on and relied on and everything I believed could anchor me and center me and provide. God stripped it away. So, and I was left to no choice but to say, okay, God, what are we
cool.
doing? Yeah, so
What now?
And then he gets like, okay, good. Now
you
I
ready?
can, now I can begin. And he began. So
Yeah,
I
he's
can't now
doing
just
an
say, oh,
amazing
thanks,
job.
bye.
Yeah.
So now this is where I'm staying at the feet of the Father. That's how I know to keep everything I do have. And I'm not staying at the feet of the Father because I want to keep my things. Because we spoke about that. Am I this joyful? Am I this in touch with my relationship with God? Because now I have
of
the
what
things.
you've experienced from him.
Yes.
this
So
year.
now I also know that I need to learn for myself outside of the material things, outside of the things that I have, outside of the answered prayers, who God is, and he learning to understand that even when I was going through things, he was a good God. He's not just a good God because I have the things. So there's that I need to go back and kind of work. Because last year I was crying and asking God, where are you, God? What are you doing to me, God? Why me? So now I need to go back and revisit some of those conversations I've had with God to say, oh, okay, so you were there, but what is it that I needed to have known then to respond differently when I was going through those things, so that in the future, should I ever
what should the conversation have been?
Yes. So how do I keep a posture of, oh, God is a good God even in trying times? Because I think I failed miserably last year. So that's some of the work I need to now do going forward.
Would you say you were kind to the girl you've been in the past?
Wow. Excuse me. Was I kind? I loved her. Was I kind to her? Was I? Was I kind? I don't know. I don't know. I can't say yes, but I know it's not a no either because I learned about grace and holding space for other people, and I knew I could only extend that if I gave some of it to myself. So I tried. I don't know if I succeeded. There's moments where I know I wasn't kind. Like there's moments where I was not kind to myself. That's why I was sad this morning when I was texting you about you need to let go of the girl you had to become in order to survive and enjoy the things you went through. I was sad because I feel like she didn't get enough love from me.
Yeah.
I feel like I just survived by the skin on my teeth, and I love myself now. The girl who's bossing up and doing the things
You're
and
loving
achieving.
yourself better.
I love myself now, and I know how difficult it was or how hard I was on that girl. Like to say, what's your problem? Why are you not following through on the things you want to do? Because I wanted to do these things, but I wasn't doing them. And I used to beat myself up so much for not doing the things, like leaving gym, even though I knew why I had to. Sometimes it felt like excuses. Not getting back on YouTube. I knew I couldn't afford to. I couldn't get in front of the camera. I didn't have the time. First of all, I was working, but I didn't have anything to say, and it wouldn't. I'm sure I would just fall apart. That was what my channel would probably have become. I was just a hot mess. So I didn't. I knew why I was not doing the things I know I felt I should be doing, but I didn't appreciate the fact that I was going through things and I was doing the work in other ways, like
Also,
praying
you were
and
doing your best in
yes,
the moment.
yes,
And
definitely.
your best, according to the 4 agreements, your best is not going to be consistent or
Yes.
constant
Yeah. And I
throughout all the
tried.
stages
I
of your
always
life.
said, like, even when I was trying to do sketchy things,
You're
I'd
like, this is my best.
yeah, like, don't give up one more day. Don't give up one more. And sometimes that is all it took to get me through the day or to get me through to where I could get to a moment and cry in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, don't give up 5 more minutes. Don't give up 5 more minutes. And it got me here. So
Yeah.
I know that girl did what she needed to do.
She did her best, and I'm proud of her.
She's happy. You're proud of her.
This brings me to my final question.
Thank you so much, Wade. Thank you so much for affirming me through that entire thing. Like the whole, like, for as long as you've known me, I think there's been more bad days than good days until now. Thank God. But
This is the beginning of the rest of our lives.
I've said this, and it's true. You've always seen me, to answer your question, last week. You've always seen me and spoken to me like this girl needs to be spoken to, not that girl. You've held space for that girl and loved that girl and validated and affirmed that girl, but you've always known that this is who I am.
This is who God brought you here to be.
Yes, and I thank you.
And I'm thankful also that I've always seen it and always known. So it was easy for me to...
Really?
Yeah, it was easy for me to hold you to that standard.
Really?
Yeah.
I keep saying, I was reflecting this morning. I was like, why are we, like, how did we survive? Like, how, because I think for the self-aware and assertive person that you are, there's been rocky moments. And I was like, how do we make it through? And not to turn this into a friendship, love, relationship thing, but how did we survive?
For me, it's knowing our values and principles are aligned.
That's true.
I think lately, every time I make a post about us, I'm always saying, "Not be included." I'm always, and Tabi saying, I'm always saying, "Bana bana ba hodisitswe hantle."
Yeah, you do say
and
that.
that for me is such an important thing. Like I can't handle rude, unkind, inelegant people. So leha, how do I say this? Even when you were going through your moments, I knew your heart. I knew the kind of person your parents raised you to be. I knew you wanted to be that person.
Yeah, I was trying.
Actually, you want to be better than what your parents could ever dream of.
Yeah.
I am sure you've exceeded the expectations
I
already.
have.
Yeah.
My dad, my mom can't believe that this is me.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's always made it so easy. Like it feels like like we
Yeah,
come
we're
from the same
sisters.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't feel like I don't miss my sisters when you're
It
around.
doesn't feel like hard work.
It's not that
Yeah.
hard. Like it's hard because
Yeah.
sibling
People.
relationships
Yeah,
are
yes.
hard,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it works.
It does.
It's I know I want to keep her in my life.
Yeah.
I know
Also,
I
I've
know
said
she was
we have
I know
no
she
choice.
was sassy today, but I want to keep her in my life.
Yes.
And you're the sort of person I wanna grow up with. I wanna
Raise
grow
your
old
kids
with.
me. Yeah. Yes, yes, I know.
Yeah, so
Your kids deserve me.
Right?
Yeah. If people don't see me with them anymore, they did it. They did. Now I'm in this thing for life.
Yeah, ha re sa na choice.
Ebile ha se gore ba nkentse something. Ban hates. Because now even if you do anything to me, I'm not promoting toxic relationships, but I'm not going anywhere. We're gonna work it out. We have to. Where am I gonna go? Where are you gonna go?
We're here now. This is it.
Yeah, we're locked in for life.
This is a commitment. My final question.
Okay. This was easy.
What do you want to say to that girl you're leaving behind?
We were doing so well on the not crying part. No. We're not doing that. No. Okay. Thank you, first of all, for getting me here. Yo.
Okay, what do you want to say to those girls we're leaving behind?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for fighting for my life. Thank you for not giving up. Well, even in times where you did, for holding on a little while longer than you wanted to, a little while longer than you thought you had the capacity to. I love you. You're perfect. It's hard now, but it doesn't take anything away from who you are, from you. It's okay that you're not the perfect little girl that you thought you needed to be in order to be loved, to be seen, to be heard. It's okay that your life didn't turn out how you planned for it to turn out at 12.
Exactly how you did.
Yeah, it's okay. You're worth all the love that you are receiving. You're worth more than what you're given sometimes, and it's okay that you feel like you are not showing up in excellence, because even if that's how it's received or perceived or is sometimes, you are doing your best. Don't be too hard on yourself. It gets better, baby girl. It gets better. So do hold on.
Yeah.
Do the work though, girl. Get up. Sarah Jake says, "Girl, get up."
Girl, get up.
Yeah. So there's more, but I don't want to cry. But yeah, thank you. I love you. You're worthy. You're gonna do big things for the kingdom of God.
This is you talking to you now.
Yes.
This you.
Yes. Yes. God did say restoration, and can't believe this is my life.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
to more greatness.
Yes. Yeah. What do you want to say to those little girls?
Huh. Yo. You're the first, when I think of those little girls,
I think of you too.
The first thing that comes to mind is the day we were from Ladybrand.
Yo, I thought about this like when I was panicking about my life now, about the things that could go wrong. I was like, but I've tried things before. Things do go wrong.
Things do go wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
I think of
We've
those
been through
little
a
girls
lot.
coming from Ladybrand, trying to start a new business while going through school, and
Trying to maintain a healthy friendship while
Right.
starting a business.
yeah, and we'd gotten this book.
Okay, we go.
I think of those girls and how fragile and young they were, and how scared they were, how they couldn't even have imagined that they would experience the things that they did.
Because I was gonna say
Good or bad.
Bad. I was gonna say as they should have been. When you said scared, I was like as they should have been. In fact, we were not scared enough.
were not
because we kept trying to do big things.
We were not scared enough for
Yeah.
what was
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
But what I'd say to them is they were quite impressive.
I know.
Yeah.
Ne ba so chill ho lekana
Whoa.
to let life deter them.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were quite impressive, and they oozed life even in those challenges.
The audacity to just
Yeah,
dream
the
and
audacity
try
to
to
just-
cultivate, to
right?
be those girls.
Because some of these dreams were like birthed then.
Yeah, ambition guide bala for to say
Right.
this is a God thing.
Hey.
Yeah, that's when he gave it to me.
So I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
I'm proud of them. I am grateful for them. I'm grateful for how they held it together, held each other down, and I'm a little sad that we don't get to be them anymore,
Yeah. And that we can't hug them.
and that we can't, and that we can't properly say good. But this is as good a goodbye as we
we'll
could give
ever
them.
Yeah, yes. So
Yeah.
this is that like when did you cross over? This is the crossover. We're crossing.
This is the crossover.
over.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And honestly, for the life of me, I don't understand how they made it.
That's why I said audacity. Because I'm like the devil.
But also, now that like wisdom and hindsight is like, okay, I understand how people without grit can go through the challenges that we had and come out resilient.
I didn't feel like I had grit. The amount of
I knew
time,
you did. Come
really,
on. Like
the
and I always
amount-
take you back to your high school days.
because I felt like a different. Now I know that I'm
No, that's
learning
you.
a programming
In
language, doing my
essence,
masters, doing the things. I didn't feel like I could. Like last year and the years before that, I didn't see what you meant when you said, "Oh, no, it's a high school IT lead
No,
accounts." When people had
yeah.
to choose, I was like, "Yeah, of course, naturally, I had the capacity and I was smart." I didn't feel smart. I thought I was smart because I had been, but in like I didn't feel like that. I didn't feel like this anymore. So I didn't know why you kept saying, "Oh, you've
Always
done
had
it."
it in
yeah,
you.
like what are you talking about? What rumors were they telling you? You know. So yeah, I think that's some of what kept me.
But
Because
I
like,
think also it's important for me to say, even if you were not doing your MBA, even if you hadn't opened your business, even if you hadn't done everything that you've done now, like content creation and everything else that you're embarking on or have been doing, I still would have been proud of you.
for what? I'm joking.
I still would have been proud, and I think we cried when Bishop T.D. Jakes said to Sarah,
Yo, I remember. Yo,
when he said, even if you'd been mopping floors, I still would be proud because I know your heart, and your heart is for God, and that's all that matters.
I'm proud of you too.
Thank you.
Would have been proud of you if you're not girl bossing and doing all the things, and yeah, I would have loved you. I will love you, and I would have been proud of you. I am proud of you. Thank you for doing this with me also. I wanted to make a spectacular comeback without, because I always do this. I call these cozy conversations, and I always do them in my bedroom with my nightgown. And I wanted to come here dressed, a little bit of jewelry, so this is cozy conversations.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing a little, not a it's none of what I'm it's not little. We're gonna be doing things. I'm back to you. I'm back on YouTube
Yeah.
officially. Yeah. So this is it. Thanks to my wonderful, wonderful employer. As you can see, guys, the setting is different. The background is spectacular. There's microphones. There's a whole crew. So, first of all, thank you to my wonderful, wonderful, wonderful employer. There's a new pharmacy in town we call it Apothec Pharmacy. Not Apothec Pharmacy. Well, it's a long story, but it's Apothec, right? Fahida building, Fahida supermarket.
Yeah.
That little black building that burns all the time in town. There's a new. They fixed it up, and there's a new pharmacy, across Central Bank, kapo Lihlakeng, kapo Central Sibutaneng, basically, yes. So that's where we're doing this from, courtesy of the coolest employer. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a little bit of cozy conversations, but we're bringing guests. We're gonna go back to doing women's health, holistic wellness as well, but obviously special emphasis on sexual and reproductive health and rights. What else is new? Yeah, you'll see vlogs. You'll see in my vlog, I did say building the life of my dreams. So hanyani hanyani, obviously, because this is the beginning. So yes, you can expect a new website, new interesting content, more wonderful
And that is
guests.
coming your way too.
More money, more problems. Joking. So yes, come here for your pharmaceutical needs, for expert health advice, for the coolest spot in town. We will take care of your health needs, your health concerns, free pharmacist consultations. We accept medical aid. What else? So thank you so much, guys, for staying until the end. Thank you so much for staying even when I was not here, like I said. Thank you so much to the people that reached out. And no, I don't believe people when they are on YouTube creating content and say, oh, you guys have been asking. You guys have been asking, and I don't take that for granted. Happy New Year. Tell me in the comments how your New Year has been, how last year was. Or as we always do, take it to Instagram if you need a little privacy. Yeah, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend of a friend of a friend or a colleague or anybody you think will benefit from hearing from me, listening to this conversation. Thank you so much. Love you. Bye. Thank you.